Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be providing a long-term market analysis update for Binance Coin. We'll talk about some very key levels of resistance that BNB just retested over the last few weeks. We'll cover some areas of support that we can look to for buyers in demand to start to step in. We'll also talk about the BNB Bitcoin ratio and what I'm noticing on this pair and provide an update of this longer-term breakout that we had above the previous range high back here in May of 2021. So if you guys enjoyed the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, by the way, I will leave a link to my Twitter page in the description below if you want to go ahead and check that out. I'm fairly active over there as well. So first, I do want to talk about this blue line, which is going to be the 50-week simple moving average. That today is coming in around $345. And what I want to focus on is how this has been key resistance on the last two lower highs. So we had this move right here in April where we had a move from the support at $330 bouncing right up into this level, and then we rejected off of the 50-week simple moving average. That was a lower high. We rolled over, came back down, and broke below support. And then you can see just the last weekly candle, we had a move with the wick going all the way above to around $400. Ultimately, though, we had the weekly candle reject off this level, unable to break above it, and in fact we've come back down and we're retesting support once again. So it's the same exact pattern as the last move, but this time we haven't broken down just yet. So really watch out to see if BNB can continue to hold this zone of support at around $260. That is the key level on the weekly, in which all of these weekly candles have continued to hold support off of, which is a positive sign. And we just want to see that continue. We want to see a consolidation period. And eventually, if we do get another retest of the 50-week simple moving average, that would be very bullish if we can break back above that level. And again, we have been below the 50-week moving average for the entire year of 2022. So it's going to be something that is really significant in terms of being longer term resistance, because of how we have two strong rejections and a significant period of time spent below this moving average. Now, we also do have a key level right around the middle of the range. So I'm going to take this giant range here that we have from the highs back here in May of 2021 down to the lows that we had right here in June earlier on in this year. And you can see the middle of the range comes in around $360. That is another level that we actually retested on this last weekly candle. So this is a big area of resistance with a lot of individual zones that we have to watch out to with this horizontal level, the 50-week moving average, and then the middle of the range. So ultimately, I would expect this is going to be very difficult for BNB to actually break above. But when we do ultimately have a move that can reclaim these resistance areas, that for me is going to be a huge sign that we do have a longer term bottom in place. We do have convincing evidence that we're starting to form some positive bullish structure. We're starting to form a base, and we might be starting to target some of these lower highs and revisit the higher valuations in the $600 to $700 range. Now, that is obviously much further out from here. We do have a long ways to go before we can actually reclaim a bunch of these resistance levels. But I do want to throw this out here because going into the next few months, these are going to be some very key levels to watch out for, especially if Bitcoin can start to move back above that $20,000 region, which would give a lot of the altcoins a lot more confidence as opposed to holding this $16,000 area and having a lot of stress put onto the altcoins. So I also do want to talk about the BNB Bitcoin ratio. We talked about this uptrend that we had forming right here with the higher lows and higher highs, and then we drew this channel, and we did get a breakout of that channel. We're coming back down to retest it. So it is positive to see that we had a nice move up, getting in this new higher high on a much more aggressive slope. And at this point, I'm really going to be watching out for BNB on the Bitcoin ratio to start to form another higher low. Now, that could mean we retest this high from back here in October, and that would look something like this, where we do come back down to this zone, and we have BNB retest that area, hold it as support, and then if we bounce off from there, that would be a good sign because that would be another higher low, retesting a previous zone of resistance. Anything that resembles something like this would be bullish for me because I do want to see those higher lows starting to form. I do want to see buyers in demand start to step in at these higher valuations. We could also just trend sideways from here, which would be a great sign as well because that would give us a little bit more of a base, a lot more consolidation before having and gearing up for another leg up. Would definitely have a more sustainable move instead of just having this very quick and aggressive rally continue. So that's what I'm going to be watching out for. On the longer term time frame, again, I really do like this big breakout that we had above the previous range high from May of 2021. Again, that's around 1.2 million Satoshis. I would expect this is going to be a bullish chart until proven otherwise. We have this long and huge uptrend where again, we do have that big uptrend starting back here in January of 2021. We had these several months of consolidation, and then we're getting that breakout and that continuation. So really this looks like a healthy uptrend, and I just want to see that continue to play out with some higher highs, higher lows in the short term. And again, we can look to some of these previous zones of resistance as potential for where higher low could eventually end up being. Now, that being said, if we are unable to hold these higher lows and we actually start to break down, this is what the signs of a breakdown would look like if we come back and then we start to break below this zone that we had formed in October around 1.4 million Satoshis. This was the region we held as support. This was a higher low. So if we do start to break down below that region, such as I have drawn, that will start to invalidate this mini uptrend. And from there, I'm really going to be paying attention to what happens with context to this longer term zone of the breakout point, again at 1.2 million Satoshis. So I hope you guys did enjoy the content and the analysis. By the way, make sure to check out my Twitter page. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.